All right, let's talk about the invisible shield that protects pretty much everything you do online. It's called the Advanced Encryption Standard, or AES. You can think of it as the master lock on all of our digital doors. And today, we're going to find out how it was built.
So, picture this. It's the late 1990s, and the world's most popular digital lock, something called DES, is officially broken. It just couldn't stand up to modern computers. This created a huge problem. I mean, what do you do when the lock that protects global information is useless? You need a replacement, and you need it fast.
The failure of DES kicked off this massive, global search for its successor. But here's the cool part. This time, it wasn't going to be some secret government project. No, this was an open, worldwide competition to find the planet's next digital guardian.
And the winner of that contest was an algorithm that we now know as AES, the Advanced Encryption Standard. Now, the most important part of this whole story is how it was chosen. Because it was a public, international competition, the best technology won on its own merits. It was completely transparent, free from all the politics that used to cloud these kinds of decisions.
Okay, so how does this new, super strong lock actually work? We're going to skip the really deep, heavy math, but let's take a look at the basic blueprint to see what makes it tick. You really just need to know three main things about AES. First, it's a block cipher. That just means it works on fixed-sized chunks of data, 128 bits at a time. Second, it's symmetric, which is a fancy way of saying you use the exact same key to both lock and unlock your information. And third, it's flexible. It comes in different key sizes, giving you options for just how secure you need to be.
The real magic of AES happens in these things called rounds. Think of it like a crazy complex recipe for scrambling an egg. AES takes your block of data and puts it through round after round of mixing, shuffling, substituting, and transforming it over and over again. The whole point is to make the final result so thoroughly scrambled that absolutely no pattern from the original data is left. It's just noise.
And that whole intense scrambling process is a huge reason why AES is so incredibly strong. See, it wasn't just designed to be a quick fix for the past, it was engineered to hold up against the future.
This chart really shows you everything you need to know. The old standard, DES, had a 56-bit key. The smallest key for AES is 128 bits. Now that might not sound like a big leap, but the difficulty grows exponentially. Trying to guess a 128-bit key is, and this is no exaggeration, like trying to find one specific atom on the entire planet Earth. It is just not possible with any computer we have today or any we can imagine.
And that gets to the heart of it. AES was never meant to be just a patch. The people who designed it knew that computers would get faster and more powerful. So they created a system with a key so impossibly long and an internal design so tough that it would provide security for decades.
Okay, but this brings up a really good question. If the entire blueprint for AES is public, if anyone can just download it and read how it works, then why can't hackers just use that information to break it? The answer is one of the most important ideas in all of modern security. The strength of AES doesn't come from a secret design. It comes from the secrecy of the key. You can know exactly how a lock is built, but that doesn't help you one bit if you don't have the key to open it. The public design has been attacked by the world's best cryptographers for 2 decades, and it's held up. And like we just said, trying to guess the key, forget about it. So this amazing standard isn't just some theory living in a computer science textbook. It's a real guardian that's working all around you, every single day, in places you probably don't even think about. Every time you see that little padlock in your web browser, well, that's HTTPS, and you can bet AES is working behind the scenes. Using a secure messaging app like WhatsApp or Signal, yep, AES is scrambling your messages. If you've ever encrypted a file on your computer or even your entire hard drive, you were using AES. It is the absolute workhorse of data protection today.
Now, obviously, AES is a super deep topic, and we've been flying pretty high to give you the big picture. So, just to be totally clear, let's talk for a second about what we skipped over.
We didn't get into the nitty-gritty math of what happens inside each one of those rounds or the complex details of how it all runs on a computer chip. The whole goal here was just to give you a solid feel for what AES is, and most importantly, why we can trust it. So to wrap it all up, the journey is pretty clear, right? We went from DES, an old, insecure standard with a tiny key, to AES, the global standard. It has a massive key and a design that has proven to be incredibly resistant to every practical attack we know of.
And maybe the most powerful thing I can say about it is this. For over 20 years, AES has been the undisputed champion. Think about how much technology has changed in 2 decades, yet AES has stood firm, protecting governments, companies, and all of us.
Which leaves us with one last really interesting puzzle. We know AES is powerful, but remember, it only works if 2 people have the same secret key. So, how do you safely give a secret key to someone on the other side of the planet, especially when you have to send it over the public internet? Well, that is a fantastic question for another time.